Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Holly Daniels Christensen on the line, and she's founder and CEO of Dune Jewelry. Holly, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Adam. How are you?
Oh, Holly, I am wonderful and so excited to have you on the show today. I'm excited to learn more about the Dune Jewelry experience and really how the company got started, and also to share my story about Dune Jewelry, because I did receive that amazing necklace that you and your team sent to me, and I have a good story behind this. But before we get started with this, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all, with our Mission Matters Minute. So, Holly, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Holly, what mission matters to you?
Our mission is to capture tangible reminders and great experiences for the people who wear our jewelry and purchase our accessories. We actually take sand and earth elements from thousands of iconic locations all over the world, and we incorporate it into our designs. And every piece is custom made to order, so that you can have a tangible reminder of life's best moments, which I think is so important these days when everything is so digital and everything's kind of stuck in your phone. This gives you something to hold on to, almost like a tangible memory. And we also have donated over $200,000 to coastal preservation and other charitable organizations over the past 5 years.
It's an amazing story, and one that I'm excited to bring to my audience. And I guess let's just start at the beginning. Like, how did this concept for Dune Jewelry come about?
I had been working in the real estate market in Boston for quite a few years, but always had this artistic side to me, whether it was drawing or painting or music. And my childhood best friend was creating these little ornaments. They were snowflake ornaments out of beach sand from different locations all over Cape Cod, where we grew up. And I started to help her with that business. And I would see people's reaction to being able to have a piece of their happy place with them. And we talked about it, and we were like, what else can we do? Ornaments are great, but what's the next step? And of course, both of us had a love for fashion. And so we decided to take jewelry making classes. And ultimately, she decided to stick with the snowflakes and raise her family, and I launched Dune Jewelry from my kitchen table in 2010.
Wow. And, there's many people in the, jewelry, beauty, and fashion world that listen to this show, and people that aspire to enter the industry. So as an entrepreneur in that space who made it from, and we'll get to where you're at now, but who started at the kitchen table, amazing story. What kind of things would you, if you could go back and, tell that Holly that was just getting started, if you could give her some advice on that journey she was going on, what kind of things would you tell her?
I would tell her to be open to other people's feedback, because when you have an idea, sometimes you do pigeonhole yourself into this one particular path that you are supposed to take. And that simply isn't the case usually. So, and I was very open to people's feedback. It was just different from what I had expected. When I started the business, I loved these clean, almost geometric designs. And then I would inlay the sand, and just the contrast between the organic nature of the sand and the clean metals really was something I was attracted to. And we still have those designs, but majority of my customers were like, well, can you do a wave or a starfish or a sand doll or something really nautical? Because in the beginning of this journey 12 years ago, we were a very nautical concept. But over the years, people would say, well, beach sand isn't what I'm passionate about. That's not my happy place. It's a golf course. So can you do sand from the golf bunker? Or it's the Hollywood Trail. My friend and I hiked out there for 3 years before I got this role in a movie. And can I give you a little sand from that, or a horseback riding ring? So all of these places that have never occurred to me that would be a sentimental value to all kinds of people.
So let's go further in that concept. So you named some things just now, and that's the elements that you're using to create these pieces and to add to them. Like, how many? I was on your website when I was creating a piece, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think they have everything. And I saw your amazing video that goes through, I don't know what I call it, the treasure chest of elements. I don't know what I call it, but you got a lot of elements that you could choose from. What's the count?
Over 5,000.
Wow.
We have what we call it the sand bank, because again, it did start as sand. But so we have a sand bank manager now. I have 3 full-time team members, and we ship to over 600 boutiques and jewelry stores all over the world. But so so many little nuances that you just never could, I guess that too, never guess what the journey is going to be like because it changes every day. So I'm excited to hear what you put in your necklace.
So my necklace I added some sand from Michigan, so from Lake Michigan. I'm from Michigan originally, and then I added some sand from Malibu. So that was significant from me because that kind of marks my journey in life up to this point. It was like, from where I started to where I'm at. So when I went through there, one of the things that I really found interesting was that even the process of creating the memory and to creating the piece of jewelry in the moment, like, it's significant because if you sit back and you're thinking about it, I'm sitting there and I have all these options and all these other things, and it caused me to kind of reflect back on my life and to kind of think about things of things that I wanted to remember. For the audience that maybe hasn't had the opportunity yet to visit Dune Jewelry, which, by the way, we'll be adding a website link and all that because I want everybody to go check this out. Can you explain kind of the user experience and how one creates the jewelry?
Absolutely. We have a website and we do ship to retail partners too, but our website's exciting because you can go onto the website, search necklaces, cufflinks, home accessories, keychains, all sorts of different types of silhouettes. And then you will go to our sand. So you'll choose a silhouette. We have sterling silver, we have gold, 14 karat gold. We also do gold for May. And we do have some designs in stainless steel too, because I think it's an underused metal that can be a lot of fun to work with. So you'll choose your silhouette. It's going to direct you to the sandbank. And then you're going to have a lot of fun because you can type in the Caribbean or Cape Cod or Italy, Greece. I mean, wherever you want to look. And it's going to bring up these almost like little patches, little photographs of sand or earth elements from that location, which sometimes it's sand, sometimes it's crushed granite, sometimes it's flower petals. We recently really started adding a lot more flower petals to the mix or to the assortment, and you can just kind of have fun and create this journey. It's an experience, right? You're capturing an experience and also creating the jewelry as an experience. And you choose that and you're going to check out on the website. That order is going to come to us and we actually pull the metal finding, whatever that design is. We pull the sand or earth elements and our artists sit and create that for you and ship it to you usually within 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum.
Wow. And when I was going through the process myself, I couldn't help but think, and maybe there is one, maybe there isn't, but is there any element that's like a bestseller, like that gets picked more so than others? And I know there's 5,000, so there may not be, but I'm just like, I was going through it and I'm like, does everybody pick something, or is there like one that sticks out versus the others, or type? Like anything come to your mind?
Yeah, yes. I would say for a power stone, we have many opaque gemstones and semi-precious gemstones that we can incorporate into the process. Usually, if it's a diamond or something that like a fine ruby and emerald, things like that, they do go a little bit clear in our process because we use jeweler's resin to set everything. So we like to use malachite and lapis and turquoise. But so if you want a little pop of color, turquoise is really popular. I think because it evokes the feeling of the ocean or, of the sea. So it's a really great complement. Plus it has healing, metaphysical healing properties and things like that. So, and when you think about metaphysical properties and stone meanings and how powerful crystals are and things like that, I mean, that's what sand is. I mean, it is eternally on this earth forever. And I think it may sound a little, maybe a little out there, but I think it's part of the success of our business is that positive energy that it evokes from people and sentimental value that it brings to people's lives.
Oh, for sure. No, I can see that completely. And it's funny because as you're talking about all these things and taking me through the user journey, I know you know this, but I'll just affirm it. You know your business. So everything from what you did or what you said originally about design and the original shapes that you had and your idea versus a different type of, like I chose the sunset. And I went through that same thought process though. Do I want this one? Do I want this one? I'm going with that. And then what you just now said in terms of, if you want the color to pop or you want to evoke a certain emotion or feeling, I was going through and I was like, I found myself first looking for just colors. And I'm like, okay, what's going to look cool? But then as I dug deeper and really when I watched the video, the kind of like the explainer video, I guess we call it, and it told us the reasoning behind it, then I was forced to like sit back and say, oh, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to be, or it not isn't supposed to be, but it can be so much more than just an accessory. And that's what I found so interesting about the story and what you're doing. So when I was doing it, that's what caused me to go with, let's just say, I still did find the sands that matched a kind of a color scheme I wanted anyway, but it wasn't like just solely for that. I was going to go with a completely different contrast, and I went in a different direction, and I'm glad I did because it's a whole different experience. And I feel like what you've also created, I guess, is it's the ultimate conversation piece. Because you gotta, everybody's gonna ask you, what is this? Like, what is this that you have on your wrist, or if you have the chain, or one of the necklaces, or something else? They're like, what is this? This random, like these elements in there, and then you get to tell the story.
I love that. Yes, and I get the phone calls and emails, and now we're doing reviews and everything. We were such a small business for so long, or it had such a small business vibe, but now we've actually got reviews up on the website, but the stories are so powerful. Yeah, like, you know, this woman, Pamela, her beloved dog, like her dog was her life, her absolute, you know, that was her child. That was her everything. And I remember her calling and asking, do we have sand from this beach in Kennebunkport, Maine? And this is where she walked her dog every single day for years and years and years and years. And it was just the most special place she could ever think of. And of course, we did have that sand in the sandbank, which was great. But just the emotion in her voice and the fact that we could give her a piece of those days that meant everything to her it's just so gratifying to be able to do that.
Yeah, I can see that. And I can also see, like, as a gift, like giving it to someone, especially whether it's a connection. Like, I mean, there's countless examples. I mean, you go on a vacation with somebody, you want to give them that. You want a loved one, maybe a wife that you want to give some sand from where you honeymooned, or who knows. Like, I feel like as a gift, really, the options and reasons to give Dune jewelry, it's just limitless.
And think about the fact that, because people will say, oh, how did you come up with that idea? Or some people that don't get it right away will be like, oh, that's interesting, you know, like that type of reaction. And in my mind, I'm like, think about it, though. Jewelry has been adorning people for thousands of years, made up, but, you know, back in the day, I don't know the exact dates. I'm not formally educated in jewelry manufacturing, but jewelry was made out of anything. It was made out of rocks. It was made out of bones. It was made, and even now people are starting to bring back antler jewelry and just found object type of designs. And this kind of feeds that mindset as well, which I love. I think people are becoming more open to use it. You know, it's not all about diamonds and gemstones and things, which of course we all love because they are gorgeous, but also the sentimental value is so important when it comes to jewelry.
That's great. Well, Holly, it's really been a pleasure having you on the show today. I'm definitely enjoying the necklace that you sent, and it definitely has a lot of meaning to me. And that being said, if somebody is listening to this and they want to learn more or they want to connect, I mean, what's the best way for them to create their own experience?
They can go to dunejewelry.com or Instagram Dune Jewelry, TikTok Dune Jewelry, Facebook Dune Jewelry. We're kind of everywhere. I love our Instagram because our social media manager is so creative, and quick story, she recently took this video that someone sent of a gentleman collecting bear paw sand, literally in Alaska. Like, there's this huge bear paw, and he reached down and took a little tiny pinch of sand and made a piece out of it because it was this really cool experience, and then captured it all on video. So you can see that fun little tidbit on our Instagram.
Wow. That's awesome.
Lots of good ideas there.
Absolutely. And we'll leave the website and all that good stuff in the show notes so that our audience can just click on the link and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters or listening to an episode, we're all about bringing on business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and having them share their mission, the story behind their mission, you know, why they do what they do, how they're doing it, and really what we can all learn and gain from that knowledge together so we can all grow together. And if that's the type of content that you're interested in or sounds interesting or fun or exciting, hit that subscribe button because we have many more mission-based individuals coming up on the line just like Holly, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Holly, thanks again for coming on the show. It really has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.